A very warm welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso. We're live on SABC3 talking about nutrition, and I'm loving all of your calls that you're giving us on 0839133728. We had a call right now, and I think we might have lost the call, but I will still refer the question to the doctor. A mom was talking about her child whose diet consists of noodles and peanut butter. Okay? Some of us might say, delicious, but when you consider the fact that the child is 2 years old, there might be some potential nutritional dangers. Please talk to me about that.
Yeah, so obviously, so a 2-year-old child obviously has specific needs in terms of their diet, and having food groups from the macronutrient group of foods, obviously, which is your proteins, your carbs, and your fats. In this case, what she'll be consuming is a lot of carbs in the form of pasta, and then obviously peanut butter, which contains, most of them contain quite a lot of sugar, and then protein combined with that, as well as fat. So the issue here isn't so much that. The issue is just the balanced amounts are not going to be in proportion here. And the child will, it's impossible for the child to achieve all the nutritional requirements of a 2-year-old to thrive just from those two. They can maintain the weight, sure, but they're going to run into problems down the line because of the micronutrients. And those are obviously things like your vitamins and your phytonutrients, which are essential for certain life processes that take place in the cells.
And you were saying just before we started this that the most important thing that parents can do is lead by example. Stock the kinds of foods in your house and eat the kinds of foods in your house that you want your children to eat.
Children love eating crisps and simmer chips, but if they're not in the house and they're not there and you're not eating that just before a meal time, so that you can't finish the broccoli and the pumpkin
there we go.
and the sweet potato, then you lead by example. So
I want to talk about RDA, the recommended daily allowance of nutrients, and how important it is to take note of this when you are planning your meals.
So that's basically a guideline that's brought out by the consumer regulating bodies that's obviously consulted with dietitians, etc., that looks at specific food groups and what you need to survive. Not to thrive, but to survive. What the recommended daily allowance is of the different subtypes of foods, whether it be grams of carbs or fats or whatever, or whether it's trace elements like iron, for example, or calcium. And the reason why we need these guidelines is because if you have too little, you get sick. If you have too much, some of them even can lead to toxicity. If you, for example, take in too much vitamin B6, can lead to nerve damage.
Wow.
So you've got to be very aware of the amount of B12, folic acid, all those kind of things that you're taking. Those are important. But it's to prevent injury to the body and specific subtype nutrient deficiencies that lead to malabsorption problems of the skin, and that kind of thing.
Wow, so important to be aware of this information. That's why we have the expert, Dr. Darren Green, here to talk to us about it. We've got one more little segment to talk about the lack of nutrients and what those can do to your body. And we'll also keep our lines open on 0839133728. Some very interesting subject matter this morning, wouldn't you say, Leanne?